After your second queen. You get a second queen immediately after the first one, and then you'll be on 24 supply, and then you make another overlord.
Okay.
This is all assuming that there's not early fighting going on. If you're trading lings for marines, then obviously your supplies will be messed up. You might not be able to afford the queen right away.
Okay.
So it's all variable.
Alright, so overlord spawn. Very, very high on the minerals. When do I want to put things back onto gas?
When your second queen is around 20% done, given everything's gone normal so far.
Okay, so everything's gone normal. It's now out, so I should probably put them back on there. Do I put down a creep tumor as the second queen is transferring over to the hatch?
What I do normally, and this is kind of like a little thing that I do that it varies from player to player, I larva inject with my first queen, and then with the next 25 mana, I send that queen out to my natural, and I make a creep tumor on the edge of my main creep with its second 25 mana. And so my second queen then becomes my main queen, and my first queen is...
Okay, alright, so I did that half-assed and backwards, so that's good.
Yeah.
Alright, so right now in this certain part of the match, what should I be looking for? I mean, I don't really have great overlord placement, so that's one thing I should be working on, obviously. Now, should I be continuing to drone up, or should I have seen the fact that you're still 2-raxing me and made a lot more lings than I already have? Because currently I only have 16 lings.
You are safe right now. Well, obviously you see the command center, so you know you're safe. But at this point, really, it comes down to what scouting information you can get, and mostly that's just going to come from running lings up my ramp and seeing how many marines I have. So that's what you should be doing. Okay. If you get the impression that I am going to be doing... You don't actually want to engage. Okay. If you get the impression that I'm going to do a marine SCV all-in, if you see a bunch of marines, you see no command center, then you want to get your baneling nest immediately. If you don't see any of that, if you feel like you're safe, then you'll want to get lair and then a baneling nest. Because the fact that I open 2 racks means there's always going to be the possibility of a marine heavy rush, so you have to get baneling nest no matter what. It's just a matter of how fast you get it.
Okay. Now I've got the lair about to finish right now. Should I have 2 gas at my expansion right now, or should it still be only on all minerals?
No, in this situation, you have seen that I made...
Oh, you cut out. Seen that you've made marines.
No, I've seen that I made a marauder.
Oh, okay.
And see that I have a fast expansion, which means that you know that I'm going mass bio.
Okay.
So that means that you're going to want to go ling and speed baneling and take your third before going muta. So you want to have 3 gas right now.
Okay.
Gas isn't as important.
Okay. In general, do you leave like 1 ling at the Xel'Naga towers?
Yeah, you need to be constantly scouting with speedlings, just to try and get an idea of when I'm going to attack. See when combat shields finishes, see how many units I have, see when I get my second gas at my expansion. Basically, everything at this point is trying to figure out when Terran is actually going to attack you.
Okay.
And it's really hard to get scouting information, so every little thing helps. You have to be really, really conscientious about running around with Zerglings like that. And see, there you saw that I have 2 gases at my expansion, and I don't have combat shields yet. So at this point, you know you're relatively safe. You should be pretty sure that I'm not going to be able to do a really quick attack, because I've invested in getting that gas, which means I'm going to do some kind of tech build.
Okay. Now, I am extremely high on minerals, currently idling around 1,400. What should I really be spending those on? Should I be continuing making a ton of lings, or...
Well, at this point, since you know you are safe, you know I'm not going to do a really strong timing attack, you should be investing a lot in drones. You should have pretty much a full base going up. And you should be going mutas. Like, your spires should be on the way. Also, did you get baneling speed?
It is currently producing right now.
Yeah, that's very, very important in this situation, so it's good that you got that. Once that is done, you're pretty much safe against bio. So that's kind of like a point in the game where there's a little lull in the amount of damage Terran can do to you, and it's good to take advantage of that by teching the mutas and getting your third base up. Just because you know you're safe until they have tanks at that point.
Right. Alright, so third base is up. Now, Is taking the high yield on this map kind of ballsy? Is it better to take the third regular mineral, or it depends on kind of what they're doing, I suppose?
No, in all cases, it's very risky to do. Just because tank pushes through the center would be so strong at that point.
Okay.
And also, you need to leave. You need to leave a Zergling out in front of my base so you can see when this kind of attack comes out.
Okay. So then I can have Banelings warped in a little bit earlier than they are now.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so now it's time. Generally, do you see Terrans kind of idle right outside their base, or would most of them come in?
At this point, I know you have a lot of speed, Baneling. It would be very dangerous for me to attack onto creep. If I engaged there, I probably would have lost all my Marines.
Okay.
So in this specific situation, most Terrans would pull back and tech and take their third base, or just get a bigger army to go kill you.
Okay.
Most people would not push the attack there.
And in terms of upgrades, should I have an evolution chamber started by now, or?
Upgrades are important, but there's other things that are more important. Baneling speed, getting enough Banelings, and getting up to mutas are your priorities here. When you can, you want to get... actually, there's kind of some confusion right now. Carapace seems better, but a lot of Zergs are finding more success with the melee weapon upgrade. So both are kind of acceptable, and the melee one is cheaper. So you might want to go with that. But yeah, as soon as you get your third gases up and running, you want to get the ground upgrades.
Okay.
But not before that, though.
Alright, so I see you moving in right now.
Yeah.
What is kind of the, if I was using hotkeys, what would you position your units as in terms of hotkey selection and things like that?
Ideally, you get a flank. You run half of your Banelings around and hit me from both sides.
Okay.
But in this case, that's kind of hard to do since you didn't actually have that many Banelings.
Right.
Banelings, it's just they weren't there. Well,
and, we talked about earlier in your match how you usually tend to try to take your mutas. Usually, you have a lot more than I just did, and you use them to attack the. What am I trying to say? From your racks, the rally point, that's what I'm trying to say. The rallied Marines to that point and take them out and just kind of hold your ground. Do you sit there and keep your units on hold position so they don't sit there and just automatically start attacking? Or what is your general thoughts there?
You kind of need to keep them out of range of where Terran could engage. You have to have them so far back that they can't try and force an attack. Because if you have them on hold position, they'll just run forward and pick off your Banelings.
Okay.
So basically you're trying to make it so that Terran can't pick at you in the first place. But yeah, it is important to have them on hold position because otherwise you just run into the tanks and everything dies.
Alright, so I guess real quick before we wrap this up, let's go into a replay and just kind of do what you would go through with one of your students, looking at the replay and pointing out what they did wrong, how they could improve that better, and if you tell them to either kind of write it down or if you would just jump into the match or something like that. So let's load up that past replay, the one we just played.